Welcome back to Or Something Like That, the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties. We're your besties and your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Thanks for being here. Now let's start the show.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, so we have a fun little bonus episode for you. I have kind of a spooky story to share.
Ooh.
I don't really know how spooky it is. It's one of those things that probably has, it has a logical explanation. I have yet to figure out what it is. So a couple nights ago, and just a little backstory so it makes sense, we have chickens. Okay, I have 6 chickens, and they have a coop which has an automatic door that opens at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and closes at like 9 p.m. And that's the door to their actual hen house. Then they have what you call a run, which is like an outdoor area. And there's like a big screen door that closes to close that area up. So when they go to bed at night, they just go into the coop and the door closes. And then we go out later in the evening and close the big screen door. And it latches. There's 2 latches on it, actually. And we just close that. You know, you don't want animals getting into the run and eating their food and stuff.
It's funny to think about chickens going to bed at night, though.
They are very diligent about their bedtime. As soon as it starts to get dark, they go. And they just know. I mean, you don't have to, teach them how to do that. It's
circadian rhythm type deal.
Yeah, and I guess just, probably at this point, I don't know, possibly hundreds of thousands of years of domestication. I don't know when chickens first became domesticated, but I feel like they may have been one of the first animals to be. I don't know. I don't know the history on that. I'm gonna pretend like I do, though.
Chicken experts, get at us in the DMs if you know.
Yeah, let us know. So anyway, a couple nights ago, my husband is getting ready to leave, go out with some friends, and I'm having dinner with the kids, and he's like, you need to go out and close the chicken door. So he comes in and he's telling our oldest, she's 5, when it starts to get dark, can you go out and help mommy close the chicken door? And I'm thinking, she's going to be in bed. Why is he telling her this? And I said, well, she'll probably be asleep. And he's like, well, she helped me the other night, when you were at Hollis's. I was here, or I don't know what we were doing. And I said, okay, fine. So he leaves. It's about 5:30 when he left. We finish dinner, do the bath, do our reading books, playing, whatever. The kids go to bed. So I go out about 8:30, 8:45 to close the big chicken door. It's closed and latched. And here's the thing. At this point, I'm not even sure that my oldest daughter can reach the top latch. It's eye level with me. And I'm like, that's strange. What's going on?
I don't like this.
So then I make the realization oh no, how long has this been closed? So there's another door on the side of the coop that's an access door for us to clean and change the food in there and stuff. I open that. There's not a single chicken in there. I'm like, great. That means they tried to come to go to bed and the door was closed and they couldn't get into the run to then get into the coop.
So what do they all run away?
No, they don't run away. Oh. They just go and try and find a place to hunker down.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm like, great. So it's pitch black. The chickens are missing. I'm going to have to be searching for these chickens. So my first thought is, well, Kurt must have just closed it for some reason and not realize, wasn't thinking about it or something. So he's out at a concert.
Oh,
Kurt. I know. I'm like, okay, so I call him, doesn't answer. He finally picks up on the 3rd ring and it's all loud. He's like, hello, And I'm like, did you close the chicken door before you left? He's like, no, why would I do that? I was like, I don't know. It was fully closed and latched. He's like, oh, she must have gone out there and done it, because he's like, I shouldn't have said anything. I just thought maybe she could help. And I'm like, Kurt, I don't think she can reach that top latch. And even if she can, she was with me the entire time. She never came back outside. And he's like, well, you think there's just some good Samaritan elf going around doing our chores for us?
No, there's a fucking creepazoid out
That's
there.
what I said. I was like, no, I'm thinking it's probably more like an axe murderer who's taunting me.
A stalker. Yeah, we're being profiled.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a mystery. I asked her the next morning. And I can usually tell when she's lying about something, when kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you did. I just need to. And she's like, no, I didn't do it. I'm like, okay. So then I take her out there with me because I just want to see her do it to see if she's even capable.
Possible.
Now, she did do it, but it was very much like we also have to prop it open with a rock because if the wind blows, the wind will blow it closed and then the chickens get locked out of the run. So we prop it open with this big rock. So I'm like, can you just go up? And I didn't give her any instruction. I just said, can you go up and close the door for me? And she was like, what? And I said, can you go and I just want to watch you close the door. And she's like kind of looking around. She's like, at first she's like, I don't understand. Why am I? And then she did. She went over, she moved to the rock. She closed it. She had to get all the way up on her tippy toes to like reach the top latch. And she did get it closed, but it wasn't like she was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, let me
just walk right over here and close it. Like I've done this before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but here I am.
That's kind of stuff creeps me out.
It creeped me out. And here's the thing. Here I am out here in the pitch black, not knowing who closed this door, searching for these chickens.
Yeah, see, that's where I would be a bad chicken parent because I would just be like, well, it's dark. Guess you're out for the night.
Well, I did. So I found two of them. I found Pearl and I found Lois. They were perched near the front porch.
Do you think Pearl or Lois will care if we use their real names?
I think they're going to be all right. Yeah. I did find them. And the thing with the chickens is like once they're asleep, they're like catatonic.
Oh, really?
They will not, because I tried to like lure them after I realized what happened and opened the door. I tried to like lure them with some like scratch snacks. You can kind of like shake the thing. And during the day, they'll come running. But at night, they're like catatonic when they don't. So I'm like, okay. So I had to carry them, pick those two up and carry them back to the coop. And then I'm looking, nothing. I can't find them anywhere. Kurt said they could be here, they could be here. I'm like, they're MIA. I'm done. I'm going inside.
Yeah. Yeah, no way.
It's still a mystery. I have no idea. I mean, and of course.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just like, of course, the only logical explanation is that it was her. But at the same time, she did not leave the house again. Yeah. I mean, I was with her. We did dinner. We did baths. We went in their room. You know, I put my youngest down. And then she and I went out to the living room, watched a little TV, read a little book, and then she went to bed. She did not go back outside.
Yeah, and
after
y'all
he
don't
left.
live. Also, it's like you don't live where there's people aren't like around.
No,
you guys live out there.
No, it's like a neighbor came over and closed the door.
It's not an option.
So I don't know.
And that's not like a thing a critter could do. A human has to do it.
Yeah, there's two latches on it that have to be latched.
Ugh. See, that's the kind of thing where it's like my logical brain, like you said, it's like with most conspiracy theories or most like things, like there is an explanation.
Right.
There obviously something happens. Like, but then the other side of my brain is like, but what is it?
But what? And that's the thing too. And I told Kurt, I said, even if, let's just say, for all intents and purposes here, that slipped outside, was out of my sight for a few minutes. That's not something that it's just like, oh, she just quickly opened the front door, grabbed something off the porch and came back in. It would take her a good 6 minutes to run down there, latch the door, and then come back inside. She was not out of my sight for that long. We were literally side by side the rest of the night. It was like the whole dinner, bath, bedtime routine. She did not go back outside.
Yeah, my first instinct would be like, oh, well, Kurt just like, he did it and he forgot.
That's me too.
But like, he would have to, it seems like it would be hard for him to forget putting the chickens in there too. So don't you have to like check and make sure they're in there before you close it?
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been a whole thing. It's not just like,
well, if it would have been him, it would have been that he closed it for some other reason.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, and he doesn't necessarily mow right around the chicken coop because we have that gravel kind of path. So it would have been something like that where for whatever reason, maybe he was going to drive his truck down there and he closed it so he could drive his truck down there and not hit the door with his truck and then just forgot to open it back up.
Yeah.
I mean,
that seems like
because it definitely got closed before the chickens went to bed.
Right.
Otherwise they would have been in there.
Right. Exactly.
They weren't. They got locked out. So yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. But yeah, there is something about it being spooky season where it's like,
yeah,
this is creepier than normal.
Yeah. And of course, I know what Kurt's thinking. I watch too many horror movies because I'm like, there's a killer out there and he's taunting me.
I mean, bitch, it happens.
And here I am, completely vulnerable, running around in the dark, trying to find these chickens.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Yeah. I'm
not
like,
today.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
I'm not the one.
I'm like kind of afraid of the dark, to be honest. I'm
Well,
kind of a wuss.
yeah.
Like, I'm just like, nope, I am not being outside in the dark by myself at any
You have a
point in
good
time.
reason to be too, but yeah.
Yeah, but I've definitely like when I've house sat at your place and had to take care of the chickens, I'm just like when I was so relieved when you're like, yeah, they pretty much go in there on their own at sundown, and I was like, good, because I don't know if I could walk my ass out there in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And like put these things away.
Yeah, no.
But
So anyway, it's a mystery still. I don't know.
it's a mystery.
But I didn't love it.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. And then you're home with your kids by yourself.
Yeah.
I would definitely make me like.
I know Kurt goes, do you want me to come home? I go, no, I don't want you to come home. I did make him stay on the phone with me while I was looking for the chickens for a little bit. And then it got too difficult because I was also trying to use my phone as a flashlight. Yeah. And I was also have to like carry the chickens. So I was like, just never mind. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't like that either. It would give me the willies.
Yeah, it was heebie-jeebies for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, have you seen the story about the rug that's captivated the nation?
What? No.
Okay.
The rug?
The rug story.
No.
It's gone completely viral.
Oh, snap.
These people, okay. If you've not heard about this, you've been living under a rock. So that would be, raise your hand. There's a woman, I think it was in Ohio, I want to say. I might get some of the details wrong, but she went into like her office and her computer was like smashed in. There were some other things that were awry. It just looked like almost like a break-in, you know, or something. But there was no obviously signs of an actual break-in. It was just like the stuff on her desk. And they're also digging in their backyard to put a fence in. So I don't know if there was a report made about like the smashing of the computer. I want to say no. But anyway, they're digging and they find this like rolled up rug while they're digging.
Oh my God.
Okay. No. So I guess she called the cops and their initial response was, well, we're not going to put any resources into like just a rolled up rug, you know? So she's like filming all this on TikTok. Okay. And so it like goes viral because people are like, yeah, you can't just like get rid of that rug. Like we're like, we need to know what's in the rug.
Oh, well, for sure you have to unroll it.
So then I guess like homicide detectives reach out to her and are like, actually, we're not really sure like why you got that response. We definitely want to come out. Let's figure it out.
You think the homicides saw the TikTok?
Yeah. Well, so it got so big that like news outlets were covering it. Yeah. So they bring the cadaver dogs. And I guess the way cadaver dogs are trained is that if they smell like the thing that's associated with the dead body, they just sit down. Okay, so the first dog just like sits down next to the hole where it was buried. And the second dog like does the same thing. So there's like this indication that yes, like something's going on. Okay, so there wasn't anything in the rug, or at least there wasn't a dead body in the rug. But I guess there's like a whole investigation. I know. But I guess there's like a whole investigation now, you know, because they smelled something. Maybe there's like DNA evidence. I don't know. So anyway, it's ongoing. So we'll see. Not to just like totally make it about me, but
that happened to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We bought some property that like butts up to our property. So it's basically like the property next door. And it had like a dilapidated kind of hunting cabin on it that we demolished, and there were these two old cisterns. Now they're out of commission cisterns, but when you buy a property that has them, you have to like properly take care of them, and so you have to like fill them with stuff and like so that you know they're not dangerous. So we have this guy's doing like the excavating and the demolishing of the stuff for us. And he's like, yeah, I can take care of that. So he lifts the lid off of this one. Oh my God. And in the bottom of this old cistern, there is a rolled up rug and some like cinder blocks.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you're kidding me.
That is like the beginning of a horror movie.
Yes.
For sure.
And we're all like, okay. I mean,
like, Kurt, get your ass down there.
Yeah.
That rug.
Well, and here's the thing about my husband. He he loves Halloween. He loves spooky season, but he doesn't really like to watch horror movies. Like because he was like, you're unrolling it. So here I am pregnant.
Get your pregnant ass and roll that
right.
rug.
So we had one of our neighbors was out there like spectating, of course. We have this whole like group of people. And I remember like having a conversation like, should we call the police department? And he's like, I mean, they're surely not going to send somebody out here. I mean, if we find something, yeah, but like, I mean, are they really? So we decided, and now I'm thinking maybe we should have, like, based on this, this story and the response. I don't know. But the guy's there with the claw. So he pulls it up and lays it down. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this. There's nothing in it. Yeah, there were just some newts. There was a couple of newts. But my thing is, why?
Yeah, and like, how if you were that person, you weren't like, maybe we shouldn't throw this down here. Imagine if somebody finds this.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be like, well, there's a body there.
To me, I feel like there has to be something nefarious going on. I can't imagine a reason...
Well, I mean...
to dump a rug in the bottom of a cistern.
Well, and there's nothing else. Like, you'd think if they were just like, oh, I gotta get rid of shit. And like, that's where they throw their trash. There was
nothing else.
Yeah.
Some cinder blocks, like large pieces of concrete, and that rug.
Yeah, and I can't really picture what a cistern looks like. Like, I know what they do, but I've never seen one. So
I mean, they don't necessarily come up out of the ground. You basically, like, you could easily walk right past this and not even know it's there.
Yeah, so it's almost like burying it.
It's like very much like burying it.
Like, you'd think if you just wanted to like get rid of this rug and you were too lazy to take it somewhere, you just throw it in the woods.
Yeah, no, it's like, very much
go
like
through the work to
hide this. It's very much bury this, hide this, make it not. Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe there was just blood on it and they were trying to get rid of blood.
That's what I'm thinking.
So
evidence.
It wasn't a body necessarily rolling
right.
in it, but sad. Oh, man. Are you watching spooky movies?
Yes. So let's see. What did I watch? Okay, so if you haven't watched What's Inside, highly recommend. It's on Netflix. It's more of a psychological thriller.
I prefer those.
Yeah. And it's a little bit horror comedy, has a little bit of comedy aspect.
Love that, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
And you watched Blink twice. I really want to watch Blink twice.
I did watch, yes.
How much did you pay for it? Because we were going to rent it last night, and it was $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, I paid $20.
Did you?
Yeah.
Damn.
So sometimes I will pay the $20 if it's something that, and that one I had seen really good reviews on. So yeah, I really thought it was well done. Awesome. It's not for everybody. It's a
rape revenge.
It's a rape revenge, which is a very specific subgenre of horror. Probably the most famous.
Jesus,
oh my gosh, sorry. That was my fantasy football update. Let me just turn my...
Things sound like they're going great.
It was the little ESPN thing. Probably the most famous example of that genre would be Last House on the Left, which is an old Wes Craven, which they've redone. So yeah, it's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
But this one was very, very well done. I really enjoyed it.
I feel like the cast
is great. Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz directed it. She's not in it, but
she's not in it. Yeah.
She's awesome.
But it was great. Shailene Woodley.
Oh, she's in it?
Yeah, she's in it. Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah. And why is Christian Slater in every weird movie like ever?
Yeah, and I mean, he hasn't been in anything in years.
Christian Slater's in it. And I mean, I know he's been in a lot of stuff, but like my mind automatically goes to Very Bad Things and True Romance. And I'm like, why is he in every like crazy movie? Because I mean, it's a wild ride, this movie.
Yeah.
It's good. It's well done, but it's not going to be for everybody. It's out there. Yeah. So
I'm excited to watch it.
But yes, if you're not triggered by, and I will say, as far as like the scene, it's very brief. It's not super concentrated on that part of the story as far as like imagery and like, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more about the like revenge part.
Yes, yes. And the ending, spectacular.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, good, because you don't get that very often.
Very,
like,
very
it seems
good.
like it was good, but the ending sucked.
No, the ending, fantastic.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Nice.
So,
yeah, speaking of people who are always in weird movies, I watched Longlegs last night with Nick Cage. It was good. Well, see, I'm not a great critic of horror movies because I don't watch them very much. So I feel like every time I watch a horror movie, I'm just like, yeah, it was good. Because I don't have much to compare it to.
Right.
I thought it was pretty good. I was a little underwhelmed by Nick Cage's role, honestly, which was a little surprising. But
yeah,
I thought the premise was kind of interesting, and the acting was really good. But
yeah, I saw it too. I was a little underwhelmed, I'll be honest. I think part of the problem with that, though, is just they've been talking about it and hyping it up for a year. And that's what happens with these like big budget, big name horror films, you know. So that's part of the problem, I think. If they said less,
then we would
we wouldn't be expecting so much and setting the bar so high, and then
and I'm not in the horror movies like scene, so I had no, outside of you being excited to see it, I didn't know there was hype about it. You know what I think was missing for me with his character was that there was no backstory to him at all.
No backstory at all. And sometimes that works to your advantage and sometimes not. And I feel like in this instance, it did not. And I think the opening scene with him was the best scene of the whole movie with him. And then especially after he was arrested, and I'm trying to remember because I watched it. I've been watching so many. It's like, the
creepiness fell off pretty hard.
Yes.
Yeah, there was like no suspense anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, it's not like he did a bad job. I think it was just the character development itself was a little bit
lacking.
Yeah.
So anyway, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it for the most part, but I was definitely a little underwhelmed. I felt like it was a little anticlimactic. The ending could have been better, but
you know what I was happy to see was Miranda's ex-boyfriend. Was the cop partner from Sex and the City, Miranda?
Wait, the doctor, Dr. Robert.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, because I was like, who is that guy? Because I was like, I knew
it right away.
Yeah.
I forgot until you said it, but I was like, oh, Nick's doctor.
Well, because what I was thinking, I was like, man, I see this guy in everything. He does not age.
No,
he looks exactly
the same as he did.
Like,
yeah.
Oh fuck, that's
Dr. Robert. Yeah, for the Knicks. Yeah.
He was
suck it, Steve.
So I watched Salem's Lot.
Oh yeah, it was
kind of corny.
Yeah,
but it was one of those. It was still fun to watch because you could kind of make fun of it.
Yeah,
while you watched it in a lighthearted way.
Right.
But
I've been watching Grotesquerie.
Oh, never heard.
Okay,
it's on a show.
Yeah, on Hulu. It's Ryan Murphy.
Okay.
It's really good.
Nice.
It's very much like serial killer taunting people, which is probably why I was very fixated on the chicken door. It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grotesquerie. Yeah, I still have to watch the Hernandez brothers. Hernandez brothers? No.
But that's another story. Aaron Hernandez. Yes.
I just saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. He's a story for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The Menendez brothers. Yes.
Very close.
Yes.
They got the Des, correct?
Yeah. So we'll discuss that when you watch it. Yeah. So we'll get into that on another episode. But Kate Hudson is a singer.
I saw. She's actually
it's not bad.
Singer, yeah.
I mean,
get your life, Kate Hudson. I bet she's been wanting to be a singer her entire life.
Yeah.
She was married to the what's his face guy. I don't know. He's a singer of a famous band. I can't remember the name of it now.
He's a singer in a band.
Oh, he is. What the fuck? I'm not going to be able to remember his name now. But
That's
anyways. Okay. But yeah.
Oh.
Why do you think it's Clown?
Yeah. No, I just didn't know. I had no idea. And I was watching someone's Instagram story and they were like at her concert. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I saw that she released an album in 2024. I'm like, okay, get it, Kate.
I know.
So I listened to some of it. It was all right.
Chris Robinson, lead singer of the Black Crowes.
The Black Crowes, yes. Although I did see the Black Crowes live once, and it was a good show.
Yeah,
I don't know why I say surprisingly. Like, they're good. Some of those like 90s bands can be a little clown, I think, but
yeah,
I
saw them at not White River, but Deer Creek.
Yeah,
Deer Creek.
I think I saw them at Rothbury.
What, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rothbury.
Oh, interesting.
But anyway, moving on.
I mean, I couldn't name another song except for their cover of "Hey Little Thing, Let Me Electrocate Cause Mama."
She talks to angels.
Oh, right. Of course. That was a fucking huge hit. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it.
That
might be it for me, too. Wait, that's a cover? Hard to Handle?
I think so.
Who did it originally?
I don't remember, but like a soul singer.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because they definitely made it famous or made it a hit.
I think. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me, but.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, I feel like. Yeah, it definitely sounds a little too
jealous again.
Okay, yeah,
that's
I'm being a hater. They had some hits. Yeah,
you guys didn't know you were getting a concert. I mean, honestly. Okay, that's kind of a good segue, though. I feel like into some celebrity sighting stories because I don't know how I went our entire friendship without knowing this story from you.
Yeah, I've been really holding out on you, apparently. Okay, so. I lived in New Orleans for a while, and there was this place called the Rum House that had this like huge porch with picnic tables, like right on this main street. I was there with my friend, and she was telling some story where she had to like stand up, and she had her hands over her head, and she like kicked her leg up, and this car rolls by, and right as she's doing that, the car stops, and the backseat window rolls down, and Richard fucking Simmons pops his head all the way out of the window and says, "Excuse me, ladies, you could keep the exercise routines to me, thanks." And then smiles and then drives away.
And then disappears.
Yeah.
You were like the last person to see Richard Simmons.
Yeah, he became a hermit.
How
a recluse.
Fucking iconic.
It was wild.
Is that he said that.
I know. My friend and I were just like, I was like, that was Richard Simmons. She was like, was that Richard Simmons? It was just like the perfect fleeting moment too, you know, like
and were you like looking around like, did anyone else see
and
this?
that's the thing, in my memory there was like nobody else around. It was like 2:00 on like a
nobody's gonna believe us.
I know, it really was one of those things. I'm gonna have to, haven't talked to her about that in so long. I'm gonna have to like get her on the phone one of these days and be like,
remember that time we saw Richard?
And like, is your memory the same as mine?
Right.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I mean, he looked exactly like his hair. I mean, there was no mistaking him.
Right.
And it was almost like he was in an Uber because he was in the back seat and like it was just like perfect timing, and then window up and rode off in the sunset. And then, pretty much like he was a recluse.
That's such an amazing, iconic story.
Yeah, it was one of the best moments of my life.
I mean, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he was being sassy, but it was like he was being funny.
Yeah,
you know? He wasn't like being an asshole.
Right? No.
Yeah. And just like
God.
He's like, oh, I'm just gonna make these girls day.
And did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I have another one.
I need to hear the Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. So I worked at this restaurant called Superior Seafood. It was this big place right on the corner of those like two major boulevards. It was a very it was a good restaurant, but it was also a little touristy. Like it was huge, very like classic New Orleans style. And they had this big bar, and then they had this porch that ran behind the bar with like retractable garage doors. And then so on either side of the bar there were two big doors. And I was lunched one day on like a Thursday or something. I was the only bartender, and my boss comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger is coming in for lunch. They've reserved the whole porch. I want you to wait on them." I was like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, "Okay." So Arnie, as they call him, and his crew come in. And
we're on a first name nickname basis now.
I know. I call him Arnie now.
He calls me Hall Dog. I call him Arnie.
We're pretty close. He comes in. They put like, it's like a group of 6 people, and he has 2 jacked dudes standing at either door, like guarding the doors. Is he Swiss?
Austrian,
yeah. So just like 2 jacked Austrian guys standing at either door, and I go in, and they're having a Zoom call with what looked like, I don't know,
his team.
Yeah, like
some kind of brand deal or something.
Yeah, his like PR guy or whatever. Had the Zoom call, and they're like super nice. He goes to the bathroom, and then this guy is just ordering for him. He's like, Arnie will have the salmon. And we'll have the cheeseburger, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, great. Arnie, salmon coming right up.
Yeah.
And the lunch
Get those omega-3s.
Yeah. He comes back and he's like super nice. He's wearing shorts. And this motherfucker's quads were so huge. His thighs. I mean, I couldn't stop staring at them.
Right.
And he was like super tan, but he was so nice. And he was like cracking jokes, talking to me, being very cordial. And I was like, yep, filling Arnie's tea. And they kept referring, like this guy who's with kept referring to him like, oh, can you get Arnie some more tea?
Can you get Arnie an Arnie P, please? He's going to need an Arnold Palmer stat.
So, yeah, anyways, he gets the salmon. And the lunch salmon is like 5 ounces. I mean, it comes out and it looks like a child's piece of food in front of him. It's just like, are you sure Arnie's not going to want the cheeseburger too? Like, so anyways, they eat and I go to clear their table and I pick up the plate and he goes, the salmon was so good you won't even have to put the plate in the dishwasher. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Arnie's got jokes too? I was like, because he did. He cleaned that plate. And I was like, all right. Nice. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. Good one, Arnie. And yeah.
And that was it.
They brought him. They got the check. And yeah.
Nice.
It was a nice
Well, it
lunch.
certainly beats my story. I think I waited on Joe Buck once, and then that's about it.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a sports announcer. Yeah, sick.
That's awesome.
But I did. My celebrity sighting is not nearly as cool. Probably not very many people are even going to know who it is, but famous nonetheless. This was in Mishawaka, Indiana, of all places. Wow. We went to the IHOP in Mishawaka. And there was like a little bit of commotion, and our waitress is like, oh yeah, there's some famous singers in here. So anyway, I go outside as we're leaving, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that's Lips from Anvil.
Wait, the
metal band.
Yeah.
So
there was a documentary about
There was
them.
a documentary. Yeah. Yes.
That's Lips.
So Steve Lips, Kudlow, I'm not exactly sure how to say his last name, but he is a singer and guitarist for Anvil. They're a metal band, started in the 70s. They're actually now regarded as like a pioneering band for that genre, but they were just kind of that band that never really made it, you know? And
like for no good reason.
Right,
really.
right. And I don't think any of their albums really did that well. Metal on Metal was the one that kind of put them on the scene a little bit, I think. And yeah, I feel like they just kind of always struggled. So that documentary came out. It's been a long time ago now, like early mid 2000s. And it was called Anvil, just like the story of Anvil. And I think it was written and put out there by a roadie that was also did some screenwriting. I don't know, but it's a fantastic documentary. I mean, it's one of those things where you're watching it and you're almost like, is this a mockumentary or is this a, you know, like
it did give
it gave Spinal Tap
vibes,
and they and they have actually been compared, their story has been compared to so anyway, it's a great watch. Even if you don't know who they are or you don't like metal music, it's a great watch. So I talked to him for quite a long time outside of the IHOP in Mishawaka. I have his autograph somewhere.
Framed on my wall.
Yeah, he's exactly what I mean. He's the person in the doc. I mean, he was exactly like, you know. So anyway, that's my celebrity sighting. Lips from Anvil. Lips.
Hell yeah! I mean, not bad.
Not bad. Could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Richard Simmons.
It's no Richard Simmons, and it's no Arnie. But
if you listen, can we get Arnie and Arnie P? Yeah. I don't know why he has to ask for it. What was I going to say? Oh, did you listen? There's a really good podcast about Richard Simmons. No. Searching for Richard Simmons. It's a great listen if y'all, I mean.
Well, I'm looking very forward to the Pauly Shore movie, which we talked about this a little bit. I don't know why everyone was so up in arms about Pauly Shore playing Richard Simmons.
I know. I mean, he's kind of fucking perfect.
Right.
He looks just like him.
I mean, he looks a lot like him. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he also, just based on his like previous movies, could definitely get his kind of demeanor and like, you know,
I think I read something or like there was in the past he made some remarks or something and the family was like
not happy about.
Yeah,
I don't know,
or like called them out in some way, and I don't know, but I mean
loved him in Son-in-Law, so
I mean we're in the army now.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, the Bob Dylan movie too. I can't decide if that's going to be good or trash either.
Yeah, you never can tell with those. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. It's also weird to like make a biopic about somebody when they're still alive, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because I feel like
the Elton John one was good. I felt like.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That one was good.
The Freddie Mercury one was
the Freddie Mercury. Oh, you didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
I couldn't get into it.
Oh, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And I thought he was great. That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I guess people do that, but I read that Bob Dylan made some remarks too. He was like
not happy about it.
But that's classic Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Classic
Bobby.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
Classic Bobby.
The Bob I know, that sounds just like him. So
should we get into some grapes and gripes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What do you got?
All right, I'll do my gripe first. Okay, maybe this is just me, but recently it feels like people are getting really willy-nilly with the double line on the road. People are like crossing the double line and getting close. Don't
even get me started.
Dude, and it's just like, I don't know if it's a cell phone thing.
It's a cell phone thing.
Laziness thing, but it is, I feel like I'm constantly honking at people.
Constantly.
Like swaying into my lane.
It's a cell phone thing. Every time it happens to me, their face is down looking at their phone.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's awful. And yeah, it's awful. There have been multiple times in the last couple of years where I have literally had to pull off of the road and stop my car because somebody is basically fully in my lane.
Yeah.
And it's like their face comes up and they're like,
yeah,
they're looking at their cell phone.
And I feel like it's that. I feel like sometimes too, though, I don't feel like they are. It's just people are like so just, I want to say entitled. They're just like, oh yeah, I could just drive wherever I want. Like no big deal. Like, oh, I'm close, but whatever. Just like, I don't know. Is bad though.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, people.
I'm sick of it. I do think it's cell phones though. I really do. I mean, that seems to be 90% of when it happens to me. I'm like, that motherfucker is on. And I see people doing it in front of me. You know?
Oh yeah. No, and I'm like, that you can really tell when somebody's on their phone. Well, and like, are you a honker? Like, do you honk at people when they...
Only if I absolutely have to, but I will,
I've been getting kind of bad about it lately where I just like...
You're honking on the fly?
Yeah, my father comes out at me and I'm just like, like I double honked at somebody the other day and I was like, all right, I gotta chill.
I gotta chill on the double honk.
I was behind this lady and she like wasn't going at the red light, like when it turned green. And I will give people a second because we just talked about this.
Yes, I hate
when people are like,
the neuron hasn't even fired
Yeah.
for your foot to hit the accelerator.
Right, like,
chill the fuck out.
But this lady was just like not going. So, I gave her the tap honk. I gave her the tap. Like,
yeah.
Not like an asshole honk. So then she drives, and then she's going you could tell she's lost, or she doesn't know where she's going, or what. And she's in a Tesla, so maybe she's just like, I don't know how to work this thing.
Right. It's driving itself.
Yeah. But eventually I was just like, all right, lady, you got to get out of the way. And so I honked at her twice, and I like sped around her. But
I have noticed with you a couple times.
Getting a little testy behind the wheel lately, so I got to maybe talk to my therapist about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, road rage is maybe the purest form of rage.
It is, but we got to nip it in the bud because that is bad. And people really
get shot and stuff. Yeah, I know.
It leads to
real violence.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
So I don't want to be one of those people. It's just like
no.
And I also don't like when I'm a passenger in a car with somebody who is a road ragey person.
Yeah,
it makes you feel unsafe, and
does.
I really hate it. So I don't want to make other people feel that way.
No, I hear that.
But so, anyways, yeah, that's my gripe. My gripe is fall.
Yeah.
My gripe is just this season. The weather has been so
It's been so nice, but like we talked about this a little bit when
it could cool off.
We really just want to lean fully into the fall attire.
Yeah.
And it's still like 80 degrees in the sun at the hottest part of the day.
Even though it's hot still, it just feels different, you know, and I love that. I love it.
So my gripe, I have a couple, but we'll see. So my first one, when you're in a grocery store or an airport or a sidewalk or someplace where there is like a general moving forward in a line kind of a situation. People are walking forward. When people just abruptly stop to like check their phone and you run into them from behind. Okay, here's the thing. You've got to move to the side.
Yeah.
If you are in a grocery store aisle, and grocery stores are like they're a little more understandable because people are expecting you to stop in the aisles with your cart. But like the aisle where you're going, that's like between the end of the actual shopping aisles and the checkout, where it's like, it's more traffic oriented. Yeah. Like you're going into an aisle from there, or you're going to the other end of the store. You're not stopping and picking groceries in that space, right?
It's a traveling lane.
It's a traveling lane. And then same with like airports and sidewalks. You have to move to the side if you're going to fully stop and check your phone or look at something or whatever it is, because the person behind you is going to run into you, or then they have to abruptly stop, and it's like a whole chain reaction.
Yeah. Oh, amen, sister. I know it's bad. I mean, grocery stores are the peak of that, but yeah. Yeah. I get so furious in the grocery store. I'm like zooming around people and just like, move or lose it, sister. We got shit to do. Like everyone's just like, oh, like looking around. Oh God.
This is not a leisurely stroll. No. Like, come on. Yeah. So that's gripe number 1. Gripe number 2, cleaning my outdoor spaces. You
don't like it?
I don't like it. They never.
What do you mean? Like just like your porch and stuff?
Yes. When it's like you have to get the shop vac out and like suck up all the cobwebs, and it's like you go to sweep the porch, and like at some point you do have to like wipe down the furniture out there, blow off the deck. God. It's never ending, and it never gets fully clean, which I know is a me problem, but because like I just like things to be clean and neat and orderly. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
Lots of trees, lots of debris. Lots of things going on.
Well, you could hire my neighbor. She loves to clean her outdoor area.
She's swept her porch twice since I've been here.
Yeah, she's on it. Oh,
all right. Exciting. Well, I think that's probably all we got for today.
Yeah. Good.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye.